Hey everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. This is part 2 in my 2-part wreath making series. We just finished the base of our wreath, which was all dollar store products, and now we're going to finish off our wreath by using another dollar store product, which is a blank wooden sign. We're going to be using Auntie Tay's HTV as well as an SVG from her Easter bundle. And this is what the finished product looks like. So if you would like to finish off your fun Easter wreath by adding a cute wooden sign to the center, or if you'd just like to have this wooden sign on its own, then I'm going to show you how to make that today. So without further ado, let's get crafty.
Alright, so I am using my iMac to complete this project, and the first thing I want to do is actually open up Cricut Design Space. So when I'm on my desktop screen on my computer, all I'm going to do is click that Cricut logo at the top toolbar there at the far right, and then click Launch Design Space. As soon as I've clicked that, it's going to immediately open up a web page because, as you probably already know, Cricut Design Space is a cloud-based web program. So you will have to make sure you're connected to the internet for this to work. Now that I'm in Design Space, I can start my project by clicking New Project either on the left-hand side of the page, that white box there underneath my projects, or I can click New Project, which is the green button on the top right toolbar. Once I'm into a blank canvas, I'm going to click Upload on the left-hand side of the page. So typically when I start a new project, I am uploading a brand new image. I've already done that, so that's why you see it here in my recently uploaded images. The first one is the Easter bundle from Auntie Tay that I'm going to be using today. But if you haven't uploaded whatever design image you plan to use, just go ahead and hit Upload Image, and then you can do it that way, and then it'll show up in your recently uploaded images. So I'm clicking that first image. You can tell that I have it selected because there is a green outline around that image, and then I just hit the box that says Insert Images. It'll just take a moment for the entire SVG file to pop up on my screen because there is quite a lot of information for it to load. And because it uploads as one SVG file, I want to go ahead and hit the ungrouping button. And again, that'll take a moment, and then you'll see each individual piece will be separated. So now I can click on each image that I don't want to use, and I can either hit the X box, I can hit my delete key, or I can click the garbage can to delete the image. Then I am left with the one image that I want to use for my project. Then I have to measure my blank wooden sign to determine what size my design should be. After measuring my sign, I decided that the height of the actual design should be no larger than 6.5 inches tall. While I'm in the process of adjusting the size of my image, I think it's important that I mention something about the aspect ratio. So if you don't know what an aspect ratio is, it's basically the relationship between the width and height of an image. So if you have the aspect ratio locked, so you see that tiny little lock up above the width and height in Design Space, so if that is locked, then you know that when you adjust the height, your width is automatically going to adjust. And if you have that little lock unlocked, then when you go to adjust, say, the height, the width won't change. So everything is going to be slightly skewed. And if that is something that you're interested in, that's 100% okay. But for myself, I like the image itself to stay true to what the original design was. So I leave that aspect ratio lock on, and when I adjust the height, the width adjusts accordingly. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying not to ramble too much, but sometimes it happens. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so it's always a good idea once you've adjusted the height or width on any design to go back to your blank item and measure both the height and width again, just to make sure that it is for sure going to fit your project. It's a good thing that I did that because when I took a look at the sign after adjusting the height, I noticed that the width being just over 8 inches was just going to be a little bit too large for my wooden sign. So I went back to my height and I adjusted it down. I took about half an inch off, so I'm now at 6 inches high. And that automatically adjusts the width because, again, my aspect ratio is still locked. So I can see now my width being just under 7.5 inches, my height being 6 inches. That is going to be perfect for my sign. So now all I'm going to do is click the green Make It button, and then it'll sort my projects into mats by color. Now I am only using one color, so I only have one mat. So today I'm working with Auntie Tay's Glitter HTV. And the biggest thing that you need to remember when working with HTV or iron-on, which is the same thing by the way, is to have your mirrored setting on, and that is going to make your design backwards on your cutting mat, which is exactly what we want, because once we cut the design out and then weed it, we're going to lay it down on top of our blank item, and then we are going to apply heat on top of that transfer sheet, and when we peel that off, it's going to be the correct way on your blank item. Okie dokie. So now we are ready to hit continue, and if your Cricut is not already on, you should turn it on now. And mine always connects via Bluetooth, but you can also use your USB. Whatever your situation is, make sure you're connected. And because my Cricut is always set on the custom setting, once I've connected, I can see all of my material options. So as I mentioned before, I am using a glitter HTV, so I'm going to go ahead and click glitter iron-on. Now I use this material quite frequently, so that's why I have it saved as a favorite, so it pops up instantly. But if you don't see it, just click on browse all materials and you should be able to find it that way. Okay, so you're likely not going to need to do this next step. I just have to because I just put a new blade in my machine, and because it's new, it's really, really sharp, and the default settings for cuts are just a little bit too deep because my blade is so sharp. So I have to change the blade pressure to less, and if you are not dealing with a new blade, just leave it on default and you should be fine. Now it's time to load the tools and the mat, so let's head on over to my workstation and see what that looks like in person. So I'm just grabbing my Cricut standard grip cutting mat, then I'm going to take my glitter HTV and place it with a glitter side down on the sticky mat. I'm just going to make sure that there's no air bubbles or any sort of debris underneath, and just give it a nice light roll with my Fiskars brayer. Then with my hand on the center of the mat, I'm just going to gently place it between the two alignment pieces, click the load button, and then click the Cricut icon that is flashing, so I am ready to cut. Once my cut is complete, I remove the project from my Cricut, flip the mat upside down, and peel the mat away from the glitter HTV. Now, unfortunately, even though I did change my blade depth to be less because I have that new blade, it still did manage to cut through the transfer sheet in some areas. That's okay, we're still going to work with it. Now I'm going to use my Fiskars paper trimmer to remove any extra glitter HTV so that I can use it for other projects. Now we are ready for the weeding process. Now, because glitter HTV is fairly thick and pretty durable, I usually just start this process off by peeling it up with my hands. And you don't have to be too careful or too slow when you're pulling it away because of how thick it is, but if you do happen to accidentally tear a little bit of it or peel up a piece that shouldn't have been peeled up, just stick it back down, and as soon as you apply heat to transfer it to whatever item you're putting it on, it does a pretty good job of just fusing back together to the point where it's virtually impossible to see any sort of tear or rip, which I'm telling you from experience, is super awesome. I love Glitter HTV for that reason. Sometimes I get a little overzealous and I just like go to town and start ripping, and then yeah, things happen. I'm human. Any of the small pieces, I just take my weeding tool. If you have something that will do the trick, feel free to use that instead. All I'm doing is peeling up the little bits and pieces. Then I am left with my fully weeded design that is ready to be applied to my wooden blank sign. Hello, unintentional rhyme. What up? Remember how I said we needed to have that mirror setting on? Well, looks like as soon as we put it on the blank, it is the right way. So that's why we want to do that. We've got the transfer folder. Nope, not transfer folder. Transfer sheet that is face up. And we're ready to apply heat. Speaking of heat, I am using my regular home iron, which you guys have seen me use before. It's just a Black & Decker iron. If you want the specific one, I have it also linked in my Amazon shop, but I think you can just get them at Walmart too. But yeah, at the time of this video, I did not have my Easy Press yet, so if you do have an Easy Press, feel free to use that instead. It's up to you. So I've got my iron plugged in, it's preheating, and I know that there's like cracks in between the wooden sign. We're gonna take care of those in a little bit, so don't worry about that. You can see I was a little bit indecisive there about whether or not I wanted to put the towel underneath or if I just wanted to use my Teflon sheet, and I ended up just deciding to use my Teflon sheet, which is heat resistant. Before I decided to add heat and make everything permanent, I decided to take advantage of my blade cutting so deep and through sections of the transfer sheet by taking out the little bunny ears and actually just moving them up to the top section of wood so that they wouldn't be cut off whatsoever in between the cracks of the wood. So it did end up kind of working out for me. I mean, the pieces just sort of like popped out super easy, and they still have that transfer sheet attached to the one side of them, so I'll be able to iron them down no problem. Okay, so now that I've waited for literally a century for my iron to heat up, I just go ahead and apply that heat directly to the top of my design. So I'm just moving ever so slightly every now and then, and I'm applying pressure, just a little bit of pressure onto the top, and I'm just sort of like moving around the whole design. And as I've shown before, when I use my iron, I tend to use the tip of it to kind of like push down and draw around each of my swirly little letters. And then you can go back to applying full heat and pressure using the entire iron. So you can get the job done with an iron. As you can see, I'm doing it here. It will just take you a little bit longer, so have patience, which if you're anything like me, that is super hard to come by, especially when you're crafting. I like making things and I want them done now, you know, you get it? You picking up what I'm laying down? Okay, I'm starting to ramble. This is going on for way too long. Once you're done applying that heat, just carefully pull that transfer sheet off and everything should be stuck down. Oh, and don't forget the bunny ears. Just lay those where you want them and then take that iron. It won't take as long for these ones because they're just little guys. So just take your iron and you know the drill. Okay, so if you like the look of the Glitter HTV stretching between the pieces of wood, so in the cracks there, feel free to just leave them. I'm going to take my dollar store craft knife and I'm just going to trace along the edge of each of the boards to cut the pieces of Glitter HTV in between. And if there's any sort of like unruly pieces, I'm just sort of going to use the knife very carefully and slowly in like a little sawing type motion just to get rid of those little pieces. Now, please, if you are using a small knife like this, be careful, or if you aren't comfortable doing it yourself, have someone that is do it for you. Or like I said, just leave it. Then you don't even have to worry about it, and leave the knife in the drawer. Just good. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Okay, cool. Ta-da! So to finish off this cute wooden sign, all I did was take my transfer sheet and lay it back down on top. And then because I had just cut off those pieces in between the cracks of the wood, I used the tip and the edge of my iron just to make sure that the freshly cut pieces were fully stuck down, just in case they kind of curved in between the cracks. So I did that, peeled my transfer sheet off, and I was a donezo. Now the whole point of me making this wooden sign was so that it would be the focal point of my Easter wreath, and I already made the base of that wreath in the first part of this 2-part video series. So I just grabbed that, and then I positioned the wooden sign in the center of the wreath with the string that's already attached to the wooden sign pulling through the back of the wreath. That way I can use that to actually hang the wreath up itself. And then I used wire to secure the sign to the base of the wreath. I made any adjustments to the mesh ribbon and decorations that I needed to, and that is basically it.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this 2-part series on how I made this super cute and super cheap Easter wreath. Make sure you leave me any questions or comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. As always, I will list all of the products that I've used and links in the description box. And if you feel like you want to hang out with me in between my YouTube videos, make sure you head over to my socials. You can find me at The Foiled Plan on Instagram, on Facebook, on Pinterest, on Etsy. That's where I'll be. And if you ever need to ask me any questions, definitely feel free to do so. You guys know I love helping when I can. I'm no expert, but I try and help if it's possible. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. I hope you guys have a super awesome day, and I will see you next time in the next craft tutorial. Okay, bye!